All right, let's talk about something really fascinating. We're diving into a practice built around a pretty massive cosmic event that's said to be happening on February 17th, 2026. Now, according to the source material, this is way more than just a date on the calendar. Think of it as a huge energetic gateway, basically a super rare window in time where cosmic forces align to create this incredible opportunity for some major personal change.
So let's just start with this question, because it's a big one. The whole idea here is that a 72-hour window is opening up that offers a chance for a transformation so deep its effects could literally shape the next 60 years of your life. It's a pretty wild claim, so let's get into how it supposedly works.
So what makes this 3-day window so powerful? Well, the source material doesn't describe it as a small boost. We're talking about a massive multiplication of energy. It's a convergence of 3 separate cosmic events. And together, they are said to amplify the power of your intention by 600 times. It's framed as this one moment where your focus has the absolute greatest impact possible. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to understand what this portal is all about. Then, we'll cover how you can prepare for it. And finally, we'll walk through the real heart of the practice, the 3 phases: the burning, the seeding, and the writing. First things first, let's break down the why. What is actually happening on February 17th to create all this energy? Well, the power of this portal is said to come from 3 distinct cosmic events all happening at the exact same time. It's like a perfect storm of energy. And this is how those 3 forces are supposed to work together. First, you've got a ring of fire eclipse, which is seen as this powerful force for just burning away old patterns and beliefs. Then you have the new moon in Aquarius, Aquarius being the sign of the future and innovation, which acts like fertile soil for planting new seeds. And to top it all off, the whole thing kicks off the year of the fire horse, a cycle that only happens once every 60 years and is all about unstoppable, revolutionary change. And here's the catch, the thing that really creates a sense of urgency. This combined energy, this open portal, is only accessible for 72 hours. It starts at sunrise on February 17th and closes at sunrise on February 20th. After that, this unique cosmic alignment is gone. So, knowing what's at stake, how do you even get ready for something like this? The practice calls for a prep phase in the 3 days right before the 17th. This is all about getting yourself ready, both physically and mentally.
On the practical side of things, here's your supply list. You're going to need a black candle for burning away the old, a white one for seeding the new, and a red candle for that activation energy. Everything else is about creating a really focused, clean, and safe space for the ritual.
But it's not just about the physical stuff, right? The real work starts inside. The source suggests journaling on these 3 key questions to get crystal clear. It's about being brutally honest with yourself about what you're truly ready to let go of and what future you're genuinely ready to become. You're defining the massive shift you're calling in.
All right, it's February 17th, game time. Let's get into the first active phase of the ritual. This is where you start to harness the incredible symbolic power of that ring of fire eclipse. This is the burning. The entire intention, the whole vibe of this first phase is captured in this one simple but really powerful declaration. It's all about a conscious, willing decision to release everything that's holding you back. So how does this actually work? It's a very specific ceremony. First, you call on the power of the eclipse. Then, you write what's called a death list. All the limiting beliefs, fears, old stories, you name it. You read every single item out loud with real conviction, then you physically burn that piece of paper with a black candle. And finally, you take those ashes and bury them, symbolizing that you're returning that old, dead energy back to the earth to be transformed.
Okay, so you've cleared the slate. You've created a vacuum. Phase 2 is all about filling that empty space, and you do that by using the creative, forward-thinking energy of the new moon in Aquarius. This part usually happens on the evening of the 17th or the morning of the 18th.
And this is probably the most crucial mindset shift in the whole practice. This is not about making a wish list for Santa. The source is adamant. You write and speak as if your new reality is already here. You're not asking for it, you are declaring it.
Just like the first phase, this one starts with an invocation. But this time, you write a birth list. This list is made up of 7 to 21 I am statements. Things like, I am powerful and confident, or I am living in my dream home. You read them aloud, really feeling the emotion of them being true right now, and then you seal that intention by placing the white candle on top of the paper.
Now for the final step of the seeding process. That paper with your new identity goes into a red envelope, and on the outside you write, "Already done." The instruction is to then sleep with this under your pillow for 3 nights. The whole idea is that your subconscious mind will just soak up these new truths while you sleep.
And that brings us to the final phase. The first 2 were all internal work, clearing and planting. Phase 3 is all about external action. This is where you take all that energy you've built up and you bring it out into the physical world. This is where you start to embody that unstoppable firehorse energy.
On the morning of February 18th, the very first full day of the Firehorse year, the practice says to light your red candle and speak this invocation. It's a declaration of who you are now, active, courageous, and totally decisive.
Now listen, this might be the most critical part of the entire practice. Your very first action on that day has to be a physical representation of one of your I am statements. Don't overthink it, just act. If you declared you're a writer, you write 1 sentence. If you declared you're healthy, you do 1 push-up. That first action supposedly sets the entire energetic template for the year to come.
So the 72-hour portal closes, then what? Well, it's not like a light switch. The source lays out a timeline of what you should expect. First, an integration week, where you might feel exhausted or emotional. Then come the tests, where your old life will try to pull you back. But if you hold firm, a period of insane acceleration is said to follow, leading into this massive wave of momentum for the rest of the year.
Finally, the source material gives some very serious warnings. It really stresses that this practice is for people who are genuinely ready for deep, radical change. You should expect some temporary chaos as your life realigns. Be authentic, because this energy will amplify what you truly want, not what you think you should want. And silence about your declarations is considered absolutely mandatory to hold the energy. And that really brings us to the end of this breakdown. It's a fascinating framework, right? This incredible convergence of cosmic events, paired with a very intentional human ritual. So the final question it leaves us with is a choice. Are you going to be a passive observer of this energy, or are you going to be an active participant and direct its power?